You sit down to work. You know exactly what you need to do. You tell yourself, just focus. But before you even begin, your mind drifts. Suddenly, you're scrolling through your phone, watching random videos, thinking about everything except what you should be doing. Hours pass. The guilt sets in. You tell yourself, tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow looks exactly the same. I know this cycle too well. For years, I tried forcing myself into productivity. Planners, to-do lists, discipline, nothing stuck. I thought I was lazy, undisciplined, not cut out for success. Then I realized something that changed everything. ADHD isn't about focus, it's about dopamine. And once I stopped fighting my brain and started working with it, everything changed. This is how I did it. Most advice about ADHD says the same thing. Use a planner, set reminders, try harder. But what if I told you that's the exact reason you keep failing? ADHD isn't about effort. It's about how your brain processes dopamine, the chemical that controls motivation, focus, and reward. Neurotypical people get dopamine from checking tasks off their to-do list. ADHD brains? Not so much. Instead, our brains seek immediate stimulation, which is why we hyper-focus on things we shouldn't, procrastinate on things we should, struggle to start tasks even when we want to. That's why productivity hacks designed for neurotypical minds don't work for us. Think about it. How many times have you made a detailed to-do list and ignored it? Set an important deadline and still missed it? Told yourself to just start and couldn't? The problem isn't effort. It's your dopamine system. When a task isn't immediately rewarding, your brain resists it. That's why you put off small tasks for weeks, wait until the last minute. When stress forces urgency, struggle with long-term goals because there's no instant payoff. Your brain isn't lazy. It's just not getting the dopamine it needs to take action. So what's the fix? You have to stop forcing motivation and start hacking your dopamine system. Here's what I changed, and why it worked when everything else failed. Instead of waiting to feel motivated, I learned how to manually trigger dopamine before starting a task. Here's how. Start with 5 minutes only. Tell your brain it's just a small commitment. Add external stimulation, music, movement, or a change in location. Start with the easiest step possible to build momentum. Once you start, dopamine kicks in, and suddenly, working isn't so hard anymore. Instead of trying to just focus, I broke tasks down in a way that hijacks the ADHD brain. Step 1. Set a pre-task reward. After I start, I get coffee. Step 2. Do a 2-minute preview. I'll just open the file. Step 3. Use a focus trigger. I only work while listening to this playlist. These small tweaks trick your brain into starting without forcing yourself. Instead of endless to-do lists, I started using 1-3-5 planning. Every day I only focus on 1 big task, deep work, 3 medium tasks, important but not overwhelming, 5 small tasks, quick wins for dopamine. This stopped me from feeling overwhelmed and helped me stay consistent. Hyperfocus can be a blessing or a curse. I learned how to turn it on when I need it and turn it off when I don't. How? Environment, 1 location. Work, another. Rest. Sound cues, specific music to trigger focus. Physical movement, using a small ritual to start deep work mode. Once I had a system, ADHD stopped being my enemy and became my advantage. After years of struggling, this system helped me go from $55,000 in debt to making $18,000 per month, stop feeling overwhelmed and stuck, build consistent focus without burnout. I didn't fix my ADHD. I learned how to use it correctly. Now I've taken everything that worked and built it into the ADHD Mastery System, a step-by-step course designed for ADHD minds. It's the system I wish I had years ago. And now, it's yours. ADHD doesn't have to hold you back. The problem isn't your brain. It's the systems you're trying to use. If you're tired of struggling, it's time to make a change. The ADHD Mastery System is available now. Like this video? Subscribe for more ADHD strategies. Because once you learn how to work with your brain instead of against it, everything changes.